In the third game of my high school season, I tore my ACL. After that, I thought my chances of playing Division I football were over. But luckily, being from a small town in Minnesota, my coach asked me to play both ways. And while I thought I was better at quarterback, nobody wanted me. The only school to give me an opportunity was Eastern Michigan, but it was a preferred walk-on and at free safety. I had no choice but to accept and commit my career to the defensive side of the ball. That brings us to fall camp, where fresh off my recovery, I showed no signs of slowing down. We even started to get a lot more comfortable at free safety and showed our ability to attack the ball in the air and come down with great interceptions like this one. We didn't seem to lose a lot of strength either, as not a lot of tackles got away from me. Also, understanding offensive concepts from a quarterback's perspective has allowed me to make plays on the ball like this, because I've been there and I understand the progressions it takes and where the quarterback wants to go with the ball. And after a successful fall camp as a walk-on, we were able to move up to second on the depth chart heading into game one. In our first game, we wouldn't see much action at free safety, but we would be the starting returner, and coach definitely saw something in our speed and our ability to read blocks from our tape, and we would nearly crib this first run. We felt pretty good starting off the year that way. We would get some action at the start of the second quarter and come down and make our first tackle of our collegiate career, and we were absolutely fired up and our teammates were fired up for us. On our second kick return attempt, we bounced it to the outside and ran out of bounds by our teammate, but we almost were able to take that back. Flash forward to the fourth quarter, where we would get some more PT and make a great open field tackle on the quarterback, and after that we would secure the W in our first game of our college career. In week 2 practice, I kept making crazy plays like this, and coach definitely took notice, because he told me going into our game against Penn State, not only would I be the starting kick returner, I would also start at free safety. And on this first kick return, it was a crazy experience because we bounced it outside. And if we had a little bit more speed, we would have made it. We also got a shot at punt returns as well, but I think the nerves got to me a little bit because I dropped it. I was able to pick it up and get a few yards, but luckily we avoided that disaster. And coach even appreciated me recovering my own fumble. We'd make our first tackle in the game, being the only one to see this read option and making it in the open field on Sean Clifford, holding him to a 3-yard rush. And then we would follow it up on this next play, reading this pitch option. They would get the first down, but we would still get the tackle. We get a nice stop here on 3rd and 13, getting a sack, which would lead to this punt return where we try to put the jukes on the guy, but it's not working. We just got to get a little bit quicker, a little bit faster. Our next big play would come on this check down to the left side, where we would have to make a nice open field tackle on the tight end. But unfortunately, right before the second half ended, Sean Clifford would dot us up and get in the end zone, and we were not happy about that one. Midway through the third quarter, we were still making plays, coming across the field and laying an absolute huge hit on this receiver. And we had followed up with really good vision, reading this screen and coming down and delivering another big hit. In the fourth quarter, we got a really amazing chance to take out Sean Clifford. I don't know what he's doing. He should have slid, because we laid another big hit. And we followed that one up with probably our hardest hit of our career, absolutely leveling the running back. Throughout the game, we were able to hold them to only 7 points, but I couldn't get off this block. Sean Clifford would secure the first down, and they would be able to run the clock out at that point. But hey, for our first start at free safety at the collegiate level, I think we had a pretty good game. We're starting off week 3 in the rain against a 1-1 Rutgers team, and on this kick return, we couldn't really go anywhere as we're only getting 24 yards. Our first tackle would come reading this pitch option and making a nice adjustment to get outside and make the tackle, and that would lead to a great coverage sack on this play, as nothing was open. While our D-line was definitely struggling on this play, he gave the quarterback a little bit too much time, and he would just launch the ball up in hopes, but we're right there securing our first ever collegiate interception and getting a nice return right after, breaking a few tackles and getting out of bounds to secure a nice turnover. We were absolutely pumped after that. I was taking that ball home to my mom. That would lead to an Eastern Michigan touchdown, but unfortunately I gave them just enough time to get this huge gain, and the QB would follow that play up with a dot to the back of the end zone to secure a tie with 6 seconds left. But you know what that means. They shouldn't kick it to me, because we get a chance to take this back to the crib. We take it, we see a lane, we cut inside, go back outside, we're up the sideline, and if we had a little bit more breakaway speed, I think we might be able to score there. Moving over to the second half, I would get a chance to get my second pick of the game here, but the ball was just too slippery. We couldn't do it. And the ball would continue to be slippery as we drop it here. We're able to pick it up though, gather our feet, and then bounce it on the outside and still get a pretty decent gain, taking it back to roughly the 45. Offense would turn it over, and on this play, I thought I was going to get my first sack ever. We still delivered a huge hit on the quarterback. And playing this position, I'm starting to really understand why the defense hates the quarterback. But regardless, we got to get better at recognizing counters, because we get locked up here. We're able to run down this running back, but he gets a huge gain. I would do a good job reading the QB's eyes here as he comes back inside, and we deliver a tackle, sending it to 3rd down. And after that, my teammate would get a huge tackle for loss to force them into a 4th and 5, which they would go for, and unfortunately, they would convert convert. There's 2 minutes left and we were still fighting. I watched film. I knew that play was coming and we were right there to get another tackle for loss. That would send it to another 4th down scenario and we had to watch from the sideline as they would check it down and get the conversion. And at that point, with no timeouts, they were able to run the clock down and we would fall to Rutgers. That brings us to game 4 against Ball State, where we wouldn't get any action until late in the second quarter, coming down and destroying the quarterback with this huge hit. They would still end up scoring on that drive though, making it 13-7. But at that point, we were still playing really solid defense, holding them to 7. We just needed the offense to show up. And luckily, I would get a really good look to get a nice punt return on this play. We were able to actually catch it in the rain this time. We got a lot of space to work. We cut on the inside, run into a teammate, and end up getting tackled, but that's a pretty good return. And with the offense not doing too much, I had to take matters into my own hands as we're blitzing into the backfield and sacking the quarterback, but also stripping him, getting the turnover for the team. And that was a huge moment as our first sack ever was a strip sack. The offense was able to score and we were able to shut them down on this play, securing the W. We'd finished that game with 6 tackles and 1 sack and a forced fumble. So we had a great run through our first 4 games, but coach still refused to put me on scholarship. And honestly, it was pretty concerning at this point considering all we've done for the team. Since we've only played in 4 games, I can still redshirt with the intention to transfer after the season, or we can ride it out and try to earn a scholarship down the road. Either way, we had a big decision to make.